Naruto. One click 999, Chapter 1, King of Return. First key upgrade. Night fell. The roar of a beast could be heard as it exploded, as though it wanted to devour everything in its path. Damn it, why is that bastard Jiayue here? What about the dark group? Where did the people from the dark group go? Hey Broken Bar! Everyone, stop him at all costs. Wait until the 4th generation Lord Flame Shadow arrives. For the will of fire, everyone attack. Ninjutsu, ninja tools, continued to dance in the air, and fresh blood dyed the sky red. However, even if these ninjas tried their best, in the end, they were just moths to a flame. It was just a useless effort. Roar! The Nine Tails did not pay attention to the ninjas in front of him who were trying to stop him. He wantonly waved his 9 huge tails, raising his head and letting out a carefree roar. Every movement of his was enough to bring a calamity down upon the village. In the eyes of Nine Tails, in the entire Woodleaf Village, only 2 men could pose a threat to him. Between the Thousand Hands pillars, Yuzabo. As for the others, here a Broken Bar. Nine Tails' bloodshot eyes suddenly widened and furry. His mouth opened in the next moment as he frantically gathered Beast Jade. All of you deserve to die. All the ninjas in this place deserve to die. Rumble a Broken Bar. The formed-tailed Beast Jade spouted out from Nine Tails' mouth, piercing through the sky and exploding at a certain corner of the Woodleaf Village. The destructive power was enough to shake the earth. At this moment, the dark night was illuminated. Despair began to fill the entire Woodleaf Village. The village of Woodleaf was in danger. Ta-ta-ta-ta. At the same time, a strange pattern appeared out of thin air on the Fire Shadow Rock, which was located between the titles of the 2nd generation Fire Shadow Thousand Hands of Woodleaf Village. It transformed into a black whirlpool and brought out a young man wearing a black trench coat. Congratulations, you've succeeded in teleporting away. 100 million points have been deducted. World. Flame Shadow Ninja World. System, Universal Power plus 999. System, Host, Xiao Tian. Points, 150,000. Hearing the voice that rang in his mind, excitement appeared on Xiao Tian's resolute face. Even his body was slightly trembling, her eyes were slightly red, and tears were flowing down her cheeks. I'm back, Xiao Tian, actually succeeded in returning. Xiao Tian, the former most dazzling star of the Woodleaf Village, the most prized disciple of the 2nd generation, the successor of the Thousand Hands of Fire Shadow. However, when he was researching forbidden techniques, he sent himself to another world and obtained his own system, Heaven's Abilitie button 999. As long as he continuously encountered abilities he had never seen before, he would be able to get points, and he had spent a certain amount of points to master it perfectly. He had originally thought that even if he managed to gather 1,000,000 points, he would still not be able to return to the Woodleaf Village. After all, these years of being in a foreign world, that desire in his heart had long ago been completely erased. However, a Broken Bar. But today, he really did return. Ying, had finally returned today. However, how did this fellow with 9 tails break the seal? Where did Rising Sun and his party go? What about the Dark Group? Where's the Fire Shadow? Damn it, how do they all do things? After sensing the situation in the Woodleaf Village, Xiao Tian's face couldn't help but become gloomy. At the same time, the system's cold voice rang out in his mind once again. Due to teleportation back to the world of fire, the host's ability has been reset. Excuse me, do you want to spend 100,000 points and 1 button to raise all the ninja arts that I knew to the maximum level? Spend. Hurry up. What a joke. The Jade with 9 tails was already aimed at the most densely populated place in the Woodleaf Village. If he was allowed to do as he pleased, then the Woodleaf Village's vitality would be greatly damaged. He was Xiao Tian, the 2nd generation's direct disciple under the title of Thousand Hands. He definitely wouldn't allow this beast to destroy his own home. Wherever the leaves flew, the fire would also continue to grow. Since teacher is not in the village now, then today, he, Xiao Tian, would have to bear this will. Protect your home. Ding. 100,000 points have been deducted and the host's ability will be restored with a single click. Ding. Master of Water Evasion plus 6,666. Congratulations, host learned full speed water escape. Ding. Forbidden technique. Flying Thunder God Technique Proficiency plus 6666. Congratulations to the host for learning the full level of the technique. Ding. Forbidden Shadow Clone Technique Proficiency plus 6666. Congratulations to the host for learning the full level Shadow Clone Technique. Ding. Forbidden Arts A Broken Bar. Naruto. One click 999. Chapter 2. Raising a Tail-Breaking Beast Jade. This power has been lost for a long time. My chakra. Xiao Tian lowered his head to look at the light blue chakra in his hand, a look of reminiscence on his face. How long had it been since he used chakra? Roar. At this moment, an angry beast roar carried the tail beast Jade and cut across the horizon, shooting towards the fire shadow rock that he was standing on. This fellow was preparing to destroy all of Fire Shadow Rock and Woodleaf at once. It was a pity that Xiao Tian hadn't recovered all of his abilities. He probably wouldn't have been able to stop him. But now a broken bar. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Xiao Tian's hands rapidly formed a seal. At this moment, strange patterns appeared in the air in front of him. In the next moment, the tail beast Jade that was filled with an aura of destruction collided with these lines. However, the tail beast Jade did not explode, but instead stopped on top of the pattern. Flying Thunder God Technique. Transfer. The instant Xiao Tian's eyes widened, the tail beast Jade in front of him disappeared and exploded in the forest that was extremely far away from the Woodleaf Village. Fortunately, the imprints that were left behind in this world are still there, otherwise, it would have been really difficult to block this attack. Xiao Tian lightly shook his head. He was clearly somewhat fearful of the tail beast Jade that was released in anger. However, that was only out of fear. If the other party took another step forward, he didn't mind completely beating it to the ground. This was because the current him already had the system, so there were many ways to instantly increase his strength. Flying Thunder God Technique. You are a broken bar. Just as Xiao Tian was about to continue to take action and calm the chaos, the fourth-generation Fire Shadow Wave Feng Shui sect suddenly appeared beside him, their faces full of vigilance. At this very moment, a person suddenly appeared in the village who could also use the Flying Thunder God Technique. This was not good news. However, Yi Ying didn't have any intention of replying to this question. Instead, with a flick of his right hand, he flung Ku Wu, who was hidden under his sleeve, out of the school of wind and water with the power of thunder. Witnessing this scene, the latter was shocked into a jump and was about to block Zhang Zhuan with his hands. Even if it was the Flying Thunder God Technique, it was already ready to be used at any time. At the same time, a strange whirlpool suddenly appeared behind the Feng Shui sect and a figure slowly appeared. However, this person hadn't even made a move on his target when Xiao Tian threw the Thunder Shuriken. It made his entire body tremble. Ambushing me in front of me, kid. You're still too young. This, friend, thank you. Swoosh. Seeing that Xiao Tian had actually attacked to stop the masked man from sneak attacking him, the bewildering sect found out that the guy in front of them who did not have the ninja protection was not in the same group as Xiao Tian. Immediately, without any hesitation, he grabbed his own Ku Wu and stabbed towards the opponent. Wang a broken bar. However, before the Feng Shui Gate's attack could land on the other party's body, that strange vortex appeared once more and swallowed the masked man. Damn it, let him run. Seeing that the masked man had left, the Feng Shui sect didn't waste any time. Instead, they quickly formed seals with their hands and slammed them onto the ground. Now, he had more important things to do. Psychic's head. Bang. As the three words were uttered, a giant toad suddenly descended from the sky, suppressing the nine tails wantonly destroyed in Woodleaf Village. At the same time, the Feng Shui sect also disappeared along with the nine tails and the toad. Yeah, I've used thundering godly art and instantaneous body fusion pretty well, maybe even faster than my teacher. Xiao Tian nodded in satisfaction. He was naturally very happy that a genius junior like Mu Yi had appeared. Ding. Congratulations to the host for discovering a new space ability and gaining 1000 points. New spatial ability? Was that a space ninja technique that had never appeared before? Or perhaps, That power came from the sculptured wheel aperture, a broken bar. Xiao Tian began to ponder on where he was and did not have any intention of helping the Feng Shui sect. Xiao Tian wanted to see the strength of this generation from a distance, but in the next moment, he frowned. Wait, that boy seems to be in the aura outside the village. A broken bar. Swoosh. As Xiao Tian's voice fell, he flung Kuwu away. At the same time, his figure also disappeared. Looks like I have no choice but to go over personally. It's been a long time, old friend. Naruto. 999, Chapter 3. That man, he's back. Outside the village, the Toad Lady Wen was suppressing the Nine Tails while the ape's flying sun slash was also rushing over with the people from the dark group. That's great. The third generation Lord Flame Shadow is also here. Everyone, hurry up and adjust your formation. We can't let Nine Tails enter the village again. Yes, I vow to guard Yi to my death. At the same time, he wielded the Ruai Jing Bang and led the group to suppress the Nine Tails. Due to the fact that the Nine Tails, who had just broken through the seal, appeared rather weak, facing the ninja's morale which had greatly increased, he began to become more and more irritable. Even so, he was still unable to break through the crowd's encirclement. Swoosh! Just at that moment, a voice of bitterness fiercely shot onto the head of the Nine Tails. Simultaneously, following the furious howl of the Nine Tails, a figure also appeared on his head out of nowhere. Ape, you brat, you've aged quite a bit. This voice is a broken bar. When he saw that the special characteristic on Jai Wei's head was gone, as well as that familiar voice, the body of the ape, Flying Sun Slash, which was holding the Ruai Jing Bang, started to tremble violently. The past was like smoke. Scenes kept appearing in his mind, and tears even started to fill the old man's eyes. You are a broken bar, the heavens, a broken bar, Brother Tian? Why are you still so young? Where have you been all these years? Xiao Tian merely laughed lightly at the current appearance of the Flying Sun Ape Slash. This kid still hadn't changed. However, in the next moment, Xiao Tian's expression suddenly turned solemn. Let's talk about the past later. Let's settle this beast first. When we get back, call those people over for us. We'll have a meeting in Fire Shadow's office. I would like to ask you, just what the hell is this Fire Shadow and the current dark group doing? If Xiao Tian didn't return in time, then what would happen to Woodleaf Village? What would happen to Ape's Flying Sun Slash? He really didn't have any way to intervene, but now that he was back, he wanted to make the village completely strong, becoming an existence that the other countries revered with reverence. And naturally, they had to start from the inside. After hearing Xiao Tian's words, Ape's Flying Sun Slash couldn't help but have a bitter expression, not knowing what to say. Brother Tian, you still look the same. Upon seeing the expression on Ape's face, the other ninjas asked in hushed tones. Who is the third generation Lord Flame Shadow? How can they not even have any protection on their forehead? Could they be spies? Do you need us to take him down? Take him down? After hearing the suggestions of his subordinates, Ape's Flying Star lightly smiled and shook his head. He then sighed with emotion as he raised his head to look in front of him. At that moment, Xiao Tian, who was fighting against the Nine Tails by himself, flashed continuously. He is my senior brother, the disciple that teacher is most proud of, the hero of the second battle of endurance. Xiao Tian. What? He is Xiao Tian? That hero who went to war with the ninja realm in the second round, the one who covered the retreat of the entire army, Lord Xiao. Oh my god, isn't he from the same generation as Lord Flame Shadow? How can he be so young? Hiss, a broken bar. Seeing that Xiao Tian was still fighting with the Nine Tails, the third generation Flame Shadow hurriedly shouted at everyone, and once again charged forward with the Ruai Jing Bang. Everyone follow me. Support Xiao Tian. Yes, the third generation Lord Flame Shadow. However, at the same time they rushed forward, Xiao Tian suddenly erected one water wall after another in front of everyone. Accurately speaking, he had restricted the Nine Tails to a certain area. Roar! Seeing that there was actually a ninja who wanted to fight him by himself, Jai Wei was instantly enraged. He charged towards Xiao Tian with Nine Tails. You little ant, you have to pay the price for your arrogance. But to this, Xiao Tian only sneered, and then, his hands began to rapidly form a seal. Water escape, a water break wave. Shadow clone technique. Shoo, shoo, shoo. The originally calm Xiao Tian suddenly split into 99 parts. At the same time, he opened his mouth and spat out a stream of extremely high-pressure water. Using his blade, he swept it towards the 9 tails below. In an instant, close to 100 gigantic water blades rained down, directly covering the 9 tails. No one is allowed to be impudent in Muyi's territory. Even if you are a tailed beast, you are no exception. Naruto. 1-click 999. Chapter 4. Domineering Suppression. Roar a broken bar, roar a broken bar, roar a broken bar. The water blades that had assaulted his head made it so that 9 tails could only lower his head and roar as he angrily changed from attacking to defending. After all, the dangerous aura emitted by the water knives was simply too dense. If he did not defend himself, he might really be injured by the other party. What the 9 tails didn't know was that due to the system strengthening all of Xiao Tian's ninja arts, they had all been upgraded to the highest level. So right now, the power of his water escape was definitely not a joke. It could even be said that in terms of power, Xiao Tian's water escape already surpassed his teacher, between the titles of Thousand Hands. As a result, even the beast that was said to be invulnerable to swords, weapons, and fire couldn't withstand it at the moment. If they were to clash head-on with him, they would definitely be injured. It was because of this that Xiao Tian did not pay much attention to 9 tails' roar. Instead, he widened his eyes. Strange strength. Empty. As the 2 words left Xiao Tian's mouth, 9 tails' restless body suddenly became sluggish. Strange strength. Using the energy within his body from chakra to cover his entire body, he was able to give the other party a terrifying pressure. At the same time, the water wall that originally stopped Ape's Flying Sun Slash and the others suddenly broke open. Seeing this scene, Ape's Flying Sun Slash understood his intention and swung its Ruai Jing Bang towards the 9 tails. This kind of fight that I haven't seen in a long time. A broken bar. Everyone, let's go together. Yes, the 3rd generation Lord Flame Shadow. However, at the same time that everyone rushed out, a few glimmers of light flickered in the Ape's Flying Sunstrike's eyes. The appearance of the 9 tails meant that the seal on 9 Hind's body had already been broken. Without the support of the human pillar and the fact that he had just given birth, 9 Hind's death was certain. So right now, they had to suppress the 9 tails and then find a new pillar of support to seal them. Otherwise, if the tailed beast died, then the reserve person would be spied on by the other countries. At that time, the distribution of beasts in the ninja realm would be out of balance. A new round of the ninja realm war would definitely follow. Corpses littered the ground, wives scattered, and rivers of blood flowed. The day would come once again. Thus, he had to cooperate with Xiao Tian and completely suppress the 9 tails. However, at the same time that Ape's Flying Sun Slash led the group of Dark Sect members to charge over, Xiao Tian, who originally wanted to follow the crowd to continue suppressing the 9 tails. At this moment, he was frowning slightly as he turned his head to look at a distant forest. Wait a minute, that aura that just appeared seems to belong to the Yuzabu clan. A broken bar. Eyes of roulette. Without any hesitation, Xiao Tian's hands quickly formed a seal. He summoned 2 huge water dragons and viciously smashed towards the 9 tails below. I'm very sorry, but I'm in a hurry right now, so you should quickly be more honest with me. Boom. Following a loud bang, the area with 9 tails and a radius of 10 meters around it directly transformed into a deep pit. Facing Xiao Tian's serious attack, the 9 tails had to lie down. After doing all of this, Xiao Tian shot a glance at the 9 tails in the deep pit before using the instantaneous movement technique to leave this place. He wanted to head over to the Feng Shui sect to investigate this. Ape, I'll leave this area to you. I'll go over and take a look at the situation on that side. What about you? Sai, it's still the same as before. Everyone, stay alert. You absolutely can't let Jai Wei catch his breath. Let's work together to suppress him. Alright. Although it was unclear what Xiao Tian had discovered, the other party was not wrong. Right now, to the Woodleaf Village, the most important matter was to suppress the 9 tails. While Ape's Flying Sun Slash was thinking this, Xiao Tian had already arrived at a corner of the forest. He stood on top of a tree branch and overlooked the masked man that was running in the forest. I said, I finally made a trip here. Don't you want to chat with me back at Woodleaf? Naruto. 1-click 999. Chapter 5. Fighting kaleidoscope. You have broken bar. Hearing Xiao Tian's voice, the masked man couldn't help but pause for a moment, his eyes full of vigilance. The guy in front of him was not in his intelligence network. Who exactly was this person? You don't have the protection from Wooden Leaf ninjas. You shouldn't be Wooden Leaf's ninja, right? As long as you can stop, perhaps we can become partners. Partner? Hey, a broken bar. Hearing the masked man's words, Xiao Tian shook his head with a smile. Then, his body instantly appeared behind the masked man as he mercilessly slashed at his back. Sensing the killing intent behind him, the masked man didn't hesitate at all and directly turned his back into a void. At the same time, he turned around to counterattack. Clang, clang, clang. Bitterness in the hands of both sides clashed together, producing a crisp sound. With another clash, both sides were forced to retreat a few steps at the same time. If you say that I'm not a ninja from Woodleaf Village, then your shameful appearance a broken bar. You must be the ninja of Woodleaf Village. Hearing Xiao Tian's words, the masked man's eyes suddenly shrunk. Just who are you? Don't meddle in other people's business. Ever since this fellow in front of him had been involved in the battle, the masked man's heart had been filled with a strong sense of unease. His intuition told him that if he were to continue fighting with this person here, he might really fail today. However, just as the masked man was beginning to have thoughts of retreating, Xiao Tian suddenly rushed forward and flung out 3 rounds of bitterness from his sleeves. Don't even think about escaping. Seeing this, the masked man's expression became cold. He waved his blade to block Kuwu. Just as Xiao Tian was about to approach him, his right eye suddenly widened. Don't even think about running. It's you. Buzz buzz a broken bar. As the masked man's voice fell, a strange vortex appeared in front of him out of thin air. A terrifying suction force seemed to directly suck in Xiao Tian. However, Xiao Tian merely smiled at this, after which, his body exploded, transforming into white smoke. At the same time, Kuwu powerlessly descended behind the masked man. Shadow clone technique. Seeing the scene in front of him, the masked man was at a loss. At the same time, a voice rang out from the place where Kuwu landed. Only now do I realize that something is amiss. It's too late. Thunder God A's second phase. Boom a broken bar. Xiao Tian opened his mouth and spat out a huge stream of water, which landed on the masked man's back. His entire body was blown away, rolling on the ground before finally crashing into a tree not far away. Ta 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 ta. As Xiao Tian spoke, he walked towards the other party. It's just a space kaleidoscope ability. It's not that rare. Don't think that you will win just because you have a roulette. That's right. After fighting with the masked man for a short time, Xiao Tian had also figured out what the person in front of him had that kind of ability from. Use a booklan. Roulette aperture. A broken bar. Hearing Xiao Tian's words, the masked man's face couldn't help but stiffen, and in his heart, he was even more determined to leave this place. It was because the guy in front of him was too terrifying in terms of strength. He was simply not someone the current him could take care of. Who exactly are you? I don't remember you. Is there a person like you in the Wooden Leaf Village? I am a broken bar. After hearing the masked man's words, Xiao Tian was just about to speak when an angry roar filled with unwillingness suddenly rang out. Immediately after, even the ground started to tremble. However, this activity did not last long before it returned to its usual tranquility. While Xiao Tian was distracted by the commotion, the masked man's body was directly sucked into the strange vortex. Even if Xiao Tian had immediately reacted, there was no way to stop him from leaving. The leaves will be destroyed. The world will be peaceful. We will meet again. Next time, I will definitely remove your head and place it on the ruins of the Woodleaf Village.